Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm a junior in high school. I am 16 years old. At age 8, I was diagnosed with a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is a high-functioning form of autism. It affects me socially a lot. It's not so much I don't understand the situation as I don't know how to respond to it. And sometimes I'll say something and I won't know that it's not the thing to say at that moment, and we'll be like, okay. Every sense is like 10 times as sensitive. It's like with lights, it's like they're brighter to me. With sounds, I can hear things normal people couldn't, like as far as I can distinguish every conversation when I'm sitting in a restaurant, which kind of is overwhelming at first because it's like you have 5 conversations, including your own, going on, which can really get to you. Late diagnoses are kind of harder than early ones because I've gone through this point of being misunderstood like half your life. Like, say, if I was diagnosed like at 16, that would have been so much harder for me. I mean, because thinking I was like, something was wrong with me or it was broken or something. I started to paint a year before I was officially diagnosed with autism. And that kind of also helped me calm down before I was officially diagnosed. Because I found my art teacher, who is to this day my art teacher, Miss LaMunyon folks. And at first art lesson, covered in paint from head to toe, but afterward she said, "I think this girl can paint." And sunflowers, which was one of the ones I painted at 7, my second painting to be exact. At first I thought, "Oh, this doesn't look good. This is just like a bunch of brush strokes." And at that time, what was really confusing for me at that age was because I'd look at Mrs. Folks' paintings, look at my paintings, I'm like, why do it look like that? They're not supposed to look like my teachers, they're supposed to be my impression of something. So from there I was able to more appreciate my own work. Miss Brock came into that is, I painted a painting, it was not yet named, and we'll come into the name later, but she was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer about, I think, halfway through my 2nd grade year. She was my 1st grade teacher. That's how I got acquainted with her. And so I started painting, and I painted the snow scene, and she loved it so much. At the time, her condition kept getting worse, so she was in the hospital for a while. We made our first canvas print, which is like actual paint, except it's not the actual paint on it, but it looks identical. So I gave her one of those, and the entire time she was sick, she hung it over her bedside. And through that process, I found out that her favorite song was Winter Wonderland. And actually there was a clip of her and her daughter singing it before she was sick that when I was listening to it, I decided, hey, I'm gonna name this painting Winter Wonderland after her favorite song, basically dedicated to Mrs. Brock for that. Opportunities I've had because of my Asperger's with my painting and singing and acting, I think wouldn't be the same without my Asperger's because I still might have talent, but as far as awareness, depth, meaningfulness, I think it would be lacking. It's like I don't compare myself to other people anymore. I know that God made me perfect the way I am, and that's made my faith stronger. I still sometimes struggle with things get harder. Sometimes I'll just say, well, why did he do this to me, or why did he do this to me? And then I come back, I'm like, why did I say that? If he didn't do this to me, he blessed me. In the case of Asperger's, we're more to ourselves. We tend to focus more on ourselves than others. So I think that since I got started giving with an early age through my art, it kind of helped me just to be more of an outward person than the traditional inward. Just helped me to be able to overcome more than if I had just been continuing to be inward. Helping others more than just like singing in the car, singing in the shower for personal gain or whatever. It's more like when you put it out there for someone else, to inspire someone else, to encourage someone else, to bring awareness of a so-called disability, in this case Asperger's, then it makes it worthwhile. My art picture and my story has been featured in many magazines, newspaper articles, and books. Girls Under the Umbrella of the Autism Spectrum is a book by Dr. Lori Ensperger and Danielle Wendell. Of course, it's really cool to have your art on the cover of a book, but able to contribute my story also into the book was a great opportunity. I've also been in Islands of Genius, which is by Dr. Gerald Treffert. I've been in Portraits of a Generation, which is basically third-generation Oklahomans. I've had my art in the Salmagundi, which is one of the oldest art galleries in New York City. I'm really grateful for all these organizations that do a lot for people, not necessarily only like me, but people in general. Like the McCarn Foundation and like Lily Claire, Children's Medical Network, a big one started by Marie Osmond. And just like those kind of organizations, being able to work with them is an honor in itself. This is a term that a lot of time I use because Rosa Martinez, this is actually the name of an art show I did at the UN, Don't Diss the Ability. And basically when I applied to my life, it means I turned my disability into an ability through my painting. And what I want to say to others is just don't give up, even though it seems like disability is just like overwhelming, overpowering. You don't need to let it overcome you. By my art, I'm able to bring sunshine, hopefully, into others' lives. And when I know that it helps others and inspires others, it comes back to me.